This video is aimed at anyone getting started with photography, but specifically those people still at school or leaving school. This is just my casual advice as if I was talking to a younger sibling that wanted to know more about photography as a job. It's all about game time. Understanding the basics of exposure and composition techniques will help you out across pretty much every type of photography that you try. Now, whether you call it 10,000 hour rule or practice makes perfect, you need these hours of using the camera to learn from your own mistakes. And in many cases, taking rubbish photos yourself will teach you a lot more about photography than listening to a YouTuber talk to a camera, but I still hope I can be of help. While you're learning, take photos of whatever you can, whenever you can, and you'll soon realize those skills are transferable. The street photography stuff you do will also work with some portrait stuff, and some product photography you do might also work for some car photography. So just use your camera as much as possible and get that game time in. Don't put yourself in a niche just yet. Inspiration and motivation can fluctuate from different days, and many times you'll want to shoot different styles of photography. So don't just restrict yourself to car photography and call yourself a car photographer, because some days you might want to go and shoot portraits. At a later date, when you start getting paid for work, you can be specific and niche down to a certain area of photography, but you won't get to that specialization without trying lots of different styles. So just don't restrict yourself early on. Work for free. And I know this doesn't sound fun, but I promise it's worth it. Sooner or later, you'll start to get known for your photos, and like most early gigs and first jobs, it will be word of mouth, possibly family and friends, because they see it as cheap labor. The very first wedding that I took photos at was for a family friend, and I just did it for free. The photos probably weren't that good anyway, but the experience of shooting at a wedding for the very first time is invaluable going forward to more professional work. I know you're probably very passionate about photography, and as a teenager, you're probably learning lots, you're trying lots, but no one really is going to pay you that much. And the thing with being a teenager is that you have a lot of time, but not a lot of money. When you're an adult, you have a lot of money, but not a lot of time. Take the time you have while you're young to gain the experience and work for free. With all that experience gained, you can charge for a better price when you're, I was going to say grown up, but when you've gained a little bit more experience and proven your worth, you can charge what you're worth. Make photography easy for yourself. When you start out with photography, it can be a little bit daunting or overwhelming. Should you be posting on Instagram every day? You need to make reels. You need to get a portfolio together. You also should be reaching out to people for jobs. All of that is just a distraction from actually getting better as a photographer. Someone that tries to do everything I've just mentioned will spread their efforts and get poor results. Compared to someone that does one thing at a time really well, they will get better results, obviously. There's a book that I recommend called The One Thing, which highlights this principle really well. Focus, which is follow one course until successful. If you stick to one thing, you're gonna get more done rather than trying to do all of it at once. This definitely goes for like the social media generation here. Don't worry about posting Instagram reels every single day, or even making a YouTube channel, because I've got a YouTube channel. Don't worry about making sure you've got 10,000 Instagram followers. Just worry about how good your photography is. Simplify your gear is another way of making it easy for yourself. Just because you see other photographers with 5 or 6 lenses and 2 or 3 bodies doesn't mean you need it. When I first got started with photography, I was taking a lot of skate park photos. I realized that I needed a 8mm, which is a fisheye. I needed a really wide lens. That's the only lens I used for about 4 years, just because I was only taking photos at skate parks. I loved it. I was pretty much doing it every single day. And I actually didn't need any other gear. I didn't need any equipment to help me take photos at the skate park. And I realize now that that actually helped me spend more time getting better at that type of photography, and I enjoyed it more. I wasn't distracted by, oh, I need that new prime lens that just come out. All I needed was a wide lens to get these big tricks in frame, and done. I could focus on the photography and not the gear that I was using. Keep your photography experience simple, and you'll be more encouraged to keep it up in the long run. Finding your style. From personal experience, the more you try and adapt to a certain style of photography, the further away you get from it. Everyone wants that consistent, cool aesthetic on their Instagram feed. That's actually going to restrict you from being creative. That's going to restrict on how you edit. That's going to restrict on what you shoot. And as a beginner trying to gain experience, trying to mold your style into a certain format isn't going to do you any favors in the long run. When I stopped caring about how my Instagram feed looked, the better photos I started taking, therefore the better my Instagram feed started looking. Go figure. Your style, whatever that might be, will develop over years and years. Just focus on the photo in front of you, and then maybe sooner than you think, you'll be happy with the certain style you've created for yourself. Look up to world-class professionals, not people you follow on Instagram. I feel like I'm talking about Instagram a lot in this video because it's one of the first places a lot of new photographers will go to. That those people you follow on Instagram might also be new to photography. So you see an account with 10,000 followers and you assume they're a good photographer, when really they might just be using Instagram Reels a lot and they're gaining a lot of followers. Because they have a high following, this should should go without saying, doesn't mean that they're a good photographer. I'm assuming you want to make money from your photography. Therefore, I think it's a good idea to learn from working professionals and real commercial work that's being used day in, day out. I personally think it's really important we look at the people that paved the way for us, people who have stood the test of time, whether that's through photo books or looking at modern day magazines. Get your inspiration from other places except just YouTube and Instagram. Of course, those platforms can help. I love sharing content on YouTube and Instagram, but if I was the only person you ever learned from, you're not going to be as good as what you potentially could be. There is one secret skill set that I believe the very best photographers have, and I made a video all about it. So if you're interested in that secret skill set, click this video here and check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe, leave a like, comment down below, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.